Let's begin Skill 26, Dividing Fractions. Once again, this is a skill that we have already been working on for the last couple of weeks, but because we are having some issues with those while solving our equations with rational coefficients, I do want you to review this skill. Also, keep in mind that we don't use calculators for fractions, so we do need to know how they actually work, and we need to understand what fractions are and what they mean. So in dividing fractions, to divide a fraction, to divide by a fraction, multiply by its reciprocal. Simplify the quotient if possible. So there are a couple of words here that we need to go through. First of all, we know what divide means. We know what a fraction is. We're going to multiply by its reciprocal, and we've also called it a multiplicative inverse. Sometimes we say flip the second fraction. That's what it means, but let's learn the actual terms. We could say reciprocal or multiplicative inverse. And remember that the word quotient is the answer to a division problem. Let's take a look at the examples. In example 1, we're dividing 2/3 by 5/7. Remember that when we do this, we have to leave the first fraction the same, change the division to multiplication, and change 5/7 to its reciprocal or multiplicative inverse. Once you've done that, you follow the same rules as you do when you multiply fractions. Those of you who like to simplify, cross-simplify before multiplying, you may do that. Those of you who don't may go ahead and multiply and then simplify. Let's take a look at the problems at the bottom. Number 1 says 3/4 divided by 1/2. So we're going to change that to 3/4 times 2/1. When we simplify, we can cross-simplify, or we can go ahead and multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. And then you need to divide your 6 by your 4. 4 goes into 6 one time. So there's my whole number. 1 times 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. There's your numerator, and your denominator stays the same. But I know that 2/4 can be reduced to 1/2. So 1 and 1/2 would be my answer. Let's take a look at number 3. 1/5 divided by 1/4. So 1/5 stays the same. We change to multiplication, and we take the reciprocal of 1/4, which is 4/1, and then we multiply straight across. 1 times 4 is 4, 5 times 1 is 5, so your quotient or your answer is 4/5. Because we've done this so many times, I'm going to go ahead and let you work on the homework section of this in just a minute, but feel free to do any of these extra problems if you wish to help you if you're still having problems with dividing fractions. So let's go ahead and turn to page 51, or 52, I'm sorry. On page 52, we're going to do a few problems together before I have you do the homework. So let's take a look at number 20. Number 20 says 3/4 of a pizza is left. If the pizza was originally cut in 1/8 pieces, how many pieces are left? Well, first of all, I know that if there are 3/4 of a pizza left, that's quite a bit of the pizza. That's more than half of the pizza, just a little bit less than the whole pizza. And so I know that my number is not going to be real small, but also keep in mind that the pizza was divided into 1/8 pieces. That means that there were 8 pieces of this pizza. So the question is, how many pieces are left? So we're going to take 3/4 and divide it by 1/8. To do that, we leave the first fraction the same, change to multiplication, take the reciprocal of 1/8, which is 8/1, and multiply straight across. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Now think to yourself, does that make sense? There were 8 pieces of pizza. 3/4 of the pizza is left. It does make sense because it's not quite 8 pieces, but it's definitely more than half, which would be 4. Let's take a look down at the bottom. It says the area of each rectangle is given. Find the missing length for each rectangle. Let's look at number 22. Number 22 says in the middle 3/4 square foot. So 3/4 square foot. is the area. One side of the rectangle is 2/3 foot. So we need to find out what is the length of the other side. In order to find that out, we're going to take 3/4 and divide it by 2/3. When we do that, the first one stays the same. We change to multiplication, and we change 2/3 to its reciprocal, or multiplicative inverse, which is 3/2, and multiply straight across. 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 2 is 8, and then we need to determine what this will be when converted to a mixed number. 8 goes into 9 one time with 1 left over, and we keep the same denominator. So it's going to be 1 1/8 foot for the answer. So if you notice what I did, I took the area, which is in the middle here shown in the rectangle, and I divided it by the side that we know. So you should then be able to do some of those problems on your own. These are the problems I want you to work for homework. Let's work problem number 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, and 23. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 problems that you need to do for homework. Once you finish, you can bring it to my room to check the answers, or check the answers with the teacher in your RTI class, and then you may move to skill 27.